releasing a fragrance into the mass public for them to purchase when it's not really finished makes about as much sense as a faceless stick figure crowd throwing punches for no particular reason. Fragrances get released all the time. When you try them out and you wear them and you smell them, you're like, you know what, this could be really good, but... Hey guys, Tommy with Studio Sense here. Hope you're having an awesome day so far. Today's video, we're going to be talking about just that. Fragrances, not necessarily ones that are unfinished, fragrances that you think are pretty good or decent, and then the flanker is released and you realize just how bad or just how mediocre that first or original fragrance was in comparison to the flanker. So when we return, we're going to take a look at 7 fragrance examples that go from meh to epic. That and more is coming your way, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. So today we're taking a look at fragrances that are just okay or pretty decent, or maybe even they suck. And then the flanker is released. Tremendous improvement in the flanker. In fact, that's what today's video is kind of sort of entitled, is Most Improved Flanker from the original release. The first example is a Dolce & Gabbana fragrance. It is Dolce & Gabbana K. Not a ton of people really go for this fragrance. I was one of the few people that actually stood up for K when it first came out and was like, I like this juniper-oriented kind of laundry detergent, soft kind of fragrance. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was a pretty decent example of a nice, albeit kind of medium quality fragrance, blue fragrance for men. It's got kind of a blue, juniper, peppery feel to it. Owing to the pimento, the juniper, the blood orange, there's a lemon, so there's quite a bit of citrus in the open, some spice in the heart, and they double down on that vetiver, cedar, and patchouli in the base without putting any kind of like rough resins or anything, and that makes it more of a lighter kind of blue fragrance for men. So relatively decent performance, just okay. This was released in 2019, and again, personally, I think because it didn't garner a lot of positive response from people, they only waited a year, 2020, to launch the brand new version, K, the Eau de Parfum version. You can take one look and realize that it's darker, so it's going to be heavier, but you don't really know what to expect. Is it going to be just more juniper? You know, just more pimento, more pepper. It is a tremendous improvement over the Eau de Toilette. Everything that was wrong with this, and there are quite a few things wrong with it in comparison to the Eau de Parfum, they fixed. This has everything that the original K has in it, but they also put in some cypriol oil, some nagarmotha oil, and something called fig nectar, which is very similar to fig milk. And that's what makes this, that's really the difference. Creamier, a lot smoother, it's like milky creamy, and it lasts a lot longer. As an Eau de Parfum, it sits closer to the skin, but you don't lose volume like you do in a lot of Eau de Parfums. This has as much of a standing sillage bubble as does the original K, and that's why I consider it one of the most improved flankers. K Eau de Parfum. Probably one of the most obvious of the very popular fragrances for men that had a super improved flanker. Another Dolce & Gabbana fragrance, The One. This turned out to be a really good fragrance. Like the body of it, the smell of it, fantastic, seductive, sexy, a little dark and rich and sultry kind of fragrance, but it just doesn't have any kind of legs. It doesn't last long at all. This is one of the most ethereal fragrances ever. You spray it on and like 30 minutes later, you can spray on more. This came out in 2008. It took Dolce & Gabbana 7 years, for whatever reason, 7 years before they released the Eau de Parfum version of The One. The Eau de Parfum version is superior in almost every way. It has, again, all the constituents that make the original one so good are in the Eau de Parfum. Primarily that ginger, orange, amber, and tobacco combination that lingers long after you spray this on, creates such an epic sillage trail. That's why it's such a good date night fragrance. It's got a very seductive appeal to it. I'm eagerly awaiting a Parfum or Le Parfum version of The One. Hopefully we'll see that in the future sooner than later. We're moving from Dolce & Gabbana to the house of Azzaro. Obviously I'm not doing this in alphabetical order. I would have done Azzaro first, but they're a very well-known fragrance house for men's fragrance. In answer to Paco Rabanne's release of Invictus, in 2016 Azzaro released Wanted. Wanted ended up being very much like Invictus. It's got a very bright, sweet tonal quality. It's a very youthful oriented. It's a combination basically of lemon, ginger, juniper, tonka bean, some vetiver, and I'm sure a little patchouli there as well. Some key differences, but again, very much like Invictus. It was not the best received fragrance over time. It gained more in popularity. Again, I'm one of those people that like sweet, citrusy fragrances, so I liked it. Azzaro did want to continue the line, so they released something called Wanted by Night that was met with a lot of positive reviews because it's a great epic date night fragrance. But I'm not going to stop there because most recently was released the Most Wanted Parfum version of Wanted. It's the absolute best version of the Wanted DNA and therefore the most improved. Red ginger, woody notes, and bourbon vanilla. It's still very bright, still very rich, and a lot darker now, lasts a lot longer, and it's got that nice sweet sex appeal as well. So still a great date night fragrance. The Most Wanted Parfum. Another pillar fragrance with the House of Azzaro that wasn't a terrible fragrance, in fact it's very popular, is the Original Chrome. The Original Chrome, this is the limited edition version. The only difference is the graphic in the back. It happens to be a very well-rounded, citrusy, aquatic signature scent worthy fragrance for men. There's been so many Chrome flankers released, it's really hard to keep up with how many there are. And a lot of people like Chrome Aqua. I, for one, really enjoy it. A lot of people say Chrome Extreme is the best Chrome flanker. And I would agree with the exception of the most recent release, and that is Chrome the Eau de Parfum. I really like the fact that they went back to basics for the formula. Very simple formula. Chrome was released in 1996. This is a 2022 release. I don't know why it took them 26 years, if my quick math is correct. 26 years to create the Eau de Parfum version. Very simply, green mandarin orange, French lavender, and pine in the base. Still the same aquatic roots, got that pine and lavender combination. It's a very well defined and refined formula, and one that you can wear mostly casually, but you can also wear it dressed up. And that's what I really like about it. And that's why I think it's the most, in terms of all of the flankers for Chrome, it's the most improved. Next up, we're moving to an Yves Saint Laurent fragrance, a very well-loved, probably the best-known date night fragrance from YSL for men, and that is La Nuit de l'Homme. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with La Nuit de l'Homme. It just goes to show that there's a trend now, and I really like this trend, that whenever they're creating flanker, they're going to go back to the original formula and tweak it just a little bit. And just a little bit is all it takes, because you want to be reminded of that original fragrance, but you also want something new, fresh, and different. And that's exactly what they did with the La Nuit de l'Homme formula. They created La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. Bleu Electrique is a fantastic fragrance. It is an epic flanker, but I'm kind of sad to talk about it because it is now discontinued for such a brand new fragrance. So running into problems with some of the constituents that create, that make up the fragrance. Hopefully it's going to be reformed and brought back. But if you were lucky enough to be able to purchase a bottle of this, it literally is La Nuit de l'Homme, except blue. They've ramped up the viability of the fragrance DNA, and to me it lasts quite a bit longer than the original. To me, it is one of the best improved flankers overall. Hugo Boss has quite a few fragrances that you could say that the flanker is improved, but one of the best well-known fragrances way back, I think in 1998 or 96 when this was released, is Boss Bottled, or what's called Boss number 6. It's really hard to improve this formula. It's kind of the meat and potatoes of Hugo Boss. Whenever you think of Hugo Boss, most people, whenever they think of it, they think of this fragrance. Apple, bergamot, cinnamon, there's a lot of spice in here. There's a good bit of sandalwood, cedar, and vanilla in the base too that contributes to that. But I think one of the best improved releases in the Boss Bottle line, besides the limited edition ouds, which are fantastic, are both really the aromatic and saffron, amazing, is the Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum. I'm really looking forward to the brand new Boss Bottled Parfum that's being released too. That hopefully will supersede this. I stand by this as one of the most improved formulas in the Hugo Boss bottle line. Replaces number 6 in my estimation as a signature scent. This is better in every way, and that's why, again, I feel it's most improved flanker. Final example that we're going to look at is a Paco Rabanne fragrance. I've even mentioned it several times. The very iconic trophy-oriented Invictus. Now, Invictus is one of those love or hate fragrances. You either enjoy it or you don't like it at all. It's a very galvanizing kind of fragrance, the way that it's marketed, the way that it smells. Out of all the Invictus flankers, and there are quite a few of them, I feel like the most improved is Invictus Victory, the V for Victory. They've taken, I think, all the things that people don't like about Invictus and they fixed it in this. Now, this is the cool weather version of Invictus. Invictus is, in its heart, an aquatic fragrance, or a fruit aquatic fragrance. Lemon, pink pepper, frankincense, lavender, vanilla, amber, and I think vetiver and cedar. It's a little bit of wood. Very well done and very finished feeling fragrance. And that's why I think it's one of the most improved fragrance flankers in men's fragrance today. Well guys, that's it for my 7 examples of fragrances that I feel are most improved flankers from the original line or the original pillar fragrance. If you've got any experience with these fragrances, or if another one stands out in your mind as being most improved, let me know what that example is in the comments below. Thanks so much though for stopping by and checking out today's video. As always, thank you so much for your support on my channel. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.